Jumping into the number 5 spot of the top 5 best budget wireless gaming headsets of 2024 is the HyperX Cloud Stinger 2 Wireless. Coming in at a price tag of $84.99, but not what we paid for it. We paid about $69.99, so check current pricing. If you want to check out any of the 5 headsets in this video, there's Amazon links below for the US, UK, Canada, and international links, but let's jump into the Cloud Stinger 2. The reason this is in the number 5 spot is because of that price change. It's still worth it, but not quite as worth it as maybe some of the others on the list. Now, build quality here is classic HyperX. It's not the most unique out there, but it is functional, comfortable, and sounds good in game. It's fully made of plastic with a plush faux leather padding on the top band, faux leather earmuffs, and HyperX logos on the ear cups with that textured design that continues to the top band as well. The adjustable bands are plastic but feel durable and are marked clearly for adjustments, which are tactile. So overall, again, HyperX, nothing fancy, but it works very well and it's durable. Now let's get to the meat and potatoes, the sound quality. The Stinger 2s are tuned great for gaming specifically. It has fantastic bass response and full mids. The trebles here are a tad muddy and a little bit overboosted, but for the most part, it's well balanced. Explosions sound powerful and realistic. Footsteps are easy to pinpoint, and overall, you get a great full sound from these. Not my favorite for listening to music, but the gaming experience is really good here. Now, for controls, on the right side, you have the power button and a USB Type-C for charging. Then on the left, you have a volume wheel. Now, for connectivity, obviously this is wireless with a 2.4 gigahertz USB dongle. And as for battery life, this gets around 20 hours. So while it's longer than some, especially in this price point, you definitely want to plug them in every few days. Now, comfort here is good. Not as good as others on the list, but still comfortable. You have a nice seal around the ears, and since this is made entirely of plastic, long gaming sessions are no problem. I wish the earmuffs and top band were a bit more plush, but that's really it. But let's finish it up with the mic quality. It's decent here. Very comparable to the average wireless headset in this segment, but don't take my word for it, take a listen to the mic test.
This is the mic test of the HyperX Cloud Stinger 2 Wireless. Check, check, check. 1, 2, 3.
And that is how it sounds, but with that, let's move on to the number 4 spot. And that is the Logitech G535 LIGHTSPEED. I absolutely love this headset, and it comes in at only $47.69. So for all of you that were like, this isn't budget enough, this is your headset right here. This is an incredible headset for under 50 bucks. Build quality here is made completely of plastic, but it's actually a really good thing. We've had this for over a year and using it actually quite a lot, and we've had no issues with it. Surprisingly, it's extremely durable. It's also extraordinarily lightweight at only 165 grams, which is amazing for long usage. That's literally like as much as a G502 weighs, but it's a headset. This thing is like unbelievably light. Because of that, it's extremely comfortable. Even with this, the headset feels very well put together. The fit and finish is very good, but obviously in hand, it does feel extremely light. You have to kind of rethink about how this feels because some people may feel that it feels cheap, but it's the lightness that makes you feel that, not the actual build. I personally love this in daily usage. The earmuffs also adjust in this really smooth, satisfying way, similar to the more expensive Logitech G535s. Logitech did a great job here. Now, sound quality here is surprisingly good. Like at this price point, you wouldn't expect much, but it's surprisingly good. The mids are full and the trebles are a bit crispier than the Stinger 2s. There's a bit less bass than the HyperX, but the sound and tuning is much more balanced and enjoyable. For 50 bucks, these are a steal. This is not what they came out priced at. When they came out, I think they were closer to like 80 bucks, and at 50 bucks, it's really a surprisingly good deal. In game, the directional sound is great. Clicks of guns and footsteps are clearer. Value-wise, this is a beast for sound quality. And if you just want a no-frills budget wireless headset, this is like one of my top picks of all time. And honestly, because this headset isn't more widely known, I don't know if this is going to be beat out anytime soon. For controls, on the left side, there is a power button, volume up and volume down, a mic mute button, and then a USB-C for charging, and that is it. For connectivity, this either uses a 2.4 gigahertz USB dongle or Bluetooth, so you could totally use this as just like a headset for traveling. And on top of all of that, because this is Logitech, probably the range on the dongle is like unfreaking real. This was able to go through multiple walls in my house, 50 feet plus, different floors. We're talking like really impressive range, never dropping out. very, very good. And as for battery life, you might think, well, it's really, really terrible. It's actually not at 24 hours. Now, moving on to maybe my favorite section of this, it ties in all of those other components that you really want in a headset, and then it finishes it off perfectly with comfort. This is literally one of the top 5 most comfortable headsets I think I've ever used. And that's still, I've had this over years, still that. They are light, my ears fit inside of the earmuffs feel really nice. They are so light and airy, and I can't explain how good that feeling is for those long gaming sessions when you're doing those like 3-hour, 4-hour, 5-hour, 6-hour gaming sessions without getting up, right? Your legs hurt, your back hurts by the end of it, but what's not gonna hurt with these is your ears. You don't feel them clamped down, you barely feel them there at all. You can walk around your house in them. It is really, really good. I don't know why ultralight headsets are not more of a segment. They need to be. These are only second in comfort to the next headset on the list, which is pure perfection. But the Achilles heel and why I think this is actually discounted so much, and that's the mic. It's not great. There's no dedicated mic arm, and it's a kind of an integrated mic that still sticks out, but it's not great. It kind of sounds like a laptop mic. It is very loud, and your friends will be able to hear you, but they might complain about the way it sounds. But yeah, don't take my word for it. Take a listen to the mic test.
This is the mic test of the Logitech G435 LIGHTSPEEDs. Check, check, check. 1, 2, 3.
But with that, let's move on to the number 3 spot, which is another headset from Logitech. This is the G535, so the step above that headset. But this one comes in at $89.99 at the time of filming, so you really gotta want the G535 over the 435 LIGHTSPEED. These essentially upgrade the G435s in basically every way. Build quality on the G535s is great. It looks and feels much more premium than the G435s. It's again completely made of plastic, but the pop of color on that fabric top band, as well as more glossy accents throughout, make this look a little bit more premium. The plastics are more dense, the sliding adjustability on the ear cups feels very smooth, and you have a dedicated mic boom arm that mutes when you put it in the upright position. Logitech did a great job here, and if you really love the G435s, but you're like, I have to have that mic, well, this is where this steps in. Now, sound quality here is also a step up, although not a massive step up because the G435s were already phenomenal. The trebles here are a bit crispier and clear, and the tuning is very well balanced out of the box. Not as good as the number 2 or 1 spot, but still very enjoyable. Bass stays pretty much the same as the G435s, being nice and full with a weight behind explosions, and the mids again are very clear. Overall, definitely a step up from the G435s, but again, the G435s have a great sound quality for that price. Directional sound in-game with the G535s with footsteps are definitely a step up, and they're tuned a little bit better, and again, because those trebles are just a little bit clearer. And this is compatible with Logitech G Hub, so you can customize the EQ and a bunch of other settings, making this much more tunable to your personal sound preference. For some people, that might be enough of an upgrade. For controls on the left side, there is a power button, a tactile volume wheel, and then a USB-C for charging. For connectivity, this is wireless with a 2.4 gigahertz USB dongle, and that's it. So you don't get Bluetooth here. So if you do want to also use your headset as also a headphone, the G435 LIGHTSPEEDs are probably going to be better for that, and they're cheaper. But objectively, this headset is better. Now, battery life also gets a significant boost at 39 hours of usage. Very nice. Now, moving on to comfort, these are amazing. They really do build off the G435s. They're still very light, not quite as light as the G435s, but they are only 236 grams, which is still very light for a headset. My ears fit inside the earmuffs very nicely, and the earmuffs here are a little bit bigger and more plush than the G435s. They have a great seal, and that added fabric top band is very comfortable. However, they still maintain that lightness and airiness that is pure perfection on the G435s. Again, really long gaming sessions are fantastic here, and that fabric top band also adds a significant amount to me. However, they are still extraordinarily close in terms of comfort. I absolutely love both of these. But now the mic, this is where you don't have the compromises that you have with the G435. A huge upgrade, but don't take my word for it, take a listen to the mic test.
This is the mic test of the Logitech G535s. Check, check, check. 1, 2, 3.
And that is how it sounds, but with that, let's move on to the number 2 spot. And this is the Razer Kaira Hyperspeed. Coming in at $89.99 at the time of filming. Check links below for current pricing. Build quality here, I initially wasn't a fan of at its list price of $129.99, but now at that discounted price, it's completely acceptable. It's fully made of plastic. Even the adjustable bands are made of plastic, but it does feel durable. The design here is gamery with classic Razer logos on each of the ear cups and some glossy Razer logo on that top band. There are rotating ear cups that are comfortable. They lay flat around your neck, which is an added bonus. The top band here is a padded fabric, and the earmuffs are nice and breathable fabric. The detachable mic is also easy to bend and stays in place where you put it. Overall, it's durable, but it is plastic, and it doesn't feel quite at the level of $130, but at this price point, yes, for the sound quality, oh yeah. So let's talk about sound quality. Right away, you can tell these have much better drivers than the previous headsets, especially in the upper frequencies. The trebles here are slightly overdone, but I do mean slightly overdone. And on the really upper end of the trebles, you do get some noticeable muddiness, but overall, solid sound quality. That's not comparing it to the previous headsets, that's more comparing it to just headsets across the board. These are a much better set of drivers overall. And unless you're an audiophile, you may not literally be able to hear those frequencies that I can. Everyone's ears are different and their frequency ranges are vastly different. Now the low end response, the bass frequency response is good here, although not as good as the number 1 spot, but the mids here are also very clear. Overall, this has a much more refined sound, and again, directional sound here is awesome on these. Footsteps and little clicks are just so much crispier. Explosions have a good weight to them, and overall, you're able to hear those small, on other headsets, insignificant sounds that you may not be able to hear. On these, the drivers really bring out the fullness of the sound, which really just does show how much of a better driver this is. And overall, at that lower price point now, this is a significantly better value. For controls on the back of the left ear cup, there is a mic mute switch, a volume wheel, a power button, and then a USB-C for charging. Then on the back of the right ear cup, there is a mode selection button and a wheel to change your game chat balance. Now, for connectivity, obviously wireless with a 2.4 GHz USB dongle, and that is a USB-C, baby. And on that dongle, you can actually switch between USB and Xbox modes, which is kind of cool. So if you have an Xbox, yeah, fully compatible there. Now, not only does it have the dongle, but you can also use this Bluetooth. So if you want to travel with this headset, this would actually be a pretty damn good one to do it with, especially because that sound quality is good. Music sounds great on these. As for battery life, it isn't phenomenal. It gets about 19 hours of usage, and for the $130 price point, it's not as good, but at this $90, $89.99, it's pretty good considering that sound quality. Now, comfort here on the Kairas is always great. Like, all of the Kaira lineup is just very comfortable. They are the second heaviest on the list, but are balanced well. Clamping force is not overbearing. It seals around my ears great. Not the god tier comfort of the Logitechs, but very comfortable nonetheless. Now, mic quality here is decent. It's very easy to understand for Discord or game chat, but overall, I've definitely heard better in a wireless headset. But don't take my word for it, take a listen to the mic test.
This is the mic test for the Razer Kaira Hyperspeeds. Check, check, check. 1, 2, 3.
And that is how it sounds, but with that, let's move on to the number 1 best budget wireless headset of 2024. This is another headset from Razer. This is the Barracuda X. Now this comes in at $79.99. It is very consistently on sale. I think this is just its new price. But for that, you get a lot. Razer really does bring it in the upper end of budget wireless headsets. Build quality here is great, feeling much more special than the other headsets on the list. It's very durable, has attractive understated styling, and balances feeling really well put together in hand without being too heavy. There are metal adjustable bands here, a plush faux leather on the headband, and breathable fabric earmuffs. We've had this for over a year now and we still have no issues with it, and we do use the heck out of our headsets and we are not really that careful with them. This does also have a really nicely designed detachable mic that stays exactly where you want. There's no flop city here. These do also fold flat, but they aren't that comfortable to wear around the neck. However, for traveling or storage purposes, it's definitely still a plus. But let's talk sound quality. It's absolutely great here. It seems to have those same 40mm drivers as the Kairas, but with much fuller sound out of the box. Bass is much more punchy and deep than the previous headset without being overbearing or muddy. The mids and trebles are also very clean. Overall, it's very impressive for this price point and considering the build quality and everything else you get with this headset. Now, this headset is also really enjoyable to listen to music on. Because of that fuller bass and clean trebles, it really just brings out the emotion in music. And this is legitimately a headset I would use 50% of the time for listening to music and 50% of the time for gaming, and you're not really making any compromises with either, which is not always the case with gaming headsets. And obviously, for playing games, this is epic. Directional sound here is great in game. Footsteps, bullets flying past you, hit sounds on the ground around you, all of that is extremely easy to decipher which direction it's coming to, just like the Kairas. But it's not tuned quite as crisp as the Kairas, which I think were a tad overdone. These are pretty much like the perfect middle ground, and it's so interesting how Razer does change their tuning substantially by headset line, even if they're using the same drivers. Very interesting. Overall, I do prefer this subtle difference between the Kairas and the Barracudas, but these are actually cheaper. And obviously, because you do get that lower frequency response, you get that emotional side of gaming without really compromising any of that directional sound in those trebles. All right, now for controls, on the left side, there is a mic mute button, a volume wheel, an on-off button that doubles as your mode selection button. Then you have a 3.5mm audio jack, which is a plus to have, and a USB-C for charging. You can also download the Razer Audio app on your phone for customizing EQ settings and seeing battery life, but you cannot use this in Razer Synapse, which for some is actually a big benefit. For connectivity, this uses Bluetooth or obviously a 2.4 GHz USB dongle, so you can use this as just headphones if you want. Or again, you can use it with a 3.5mm wired connection, which I think is a big pro because these drivers are good enough to benefit from lossless audio. The headset can also be switched between Bluetooth and the dongle audio sources automatically, which is a very cool thing to have. I did enjoy that. As for battery life, this gets around 60 hours of usage. It's the most on the list, and you can see why this is in the #1 spot. It's a fantastic value. Comfort here is also great. They don't press too tightly against my head. The fabric earmuffs keep it cool during long, hot gaming sessions. They aren't too heavy. The top band is also super plush. This is really enjoyable for those 3, 4, 5 hour long gaming sessions without really any fatigue. That's also with wearing glasses. Even though I wear contacts most of the time when shooting, when I'm staring at a screen for that long, I typically switch to glasses, and that can limit your headsets by quite a lot. These don't press too tightly, and they don't indent the glasses into your head, which is a nice pro. Overall, the comfort is really good, but not quite as good as those Logitechs. But finishing it off with the mic, it's a pretty average mic. Nothing special here, but definitely not anything horrible. But don't take my word for it, take a listen to the mic test.
This is the mic test for the Razer Barracuda X's. Check, check, check. 1, 2, 3.
And that is how it sounds. But again, if you want to check out any of the 5 headsets in this video, there's Amazon links below for the US, UK, Canada, and international links. And if you also want to find the best budget wireless gaming mice, check out this video right here. But this is a consumer tech review, and I'll see you guys in the next video.